Hello and Sawadee. Welcome back to my reaction to the documentary Murder in Paradise. This video is part 2 and it covers approximately 11 minutes from the 5-minute mark of the documentary with some commentary from me.
At some point after 2:15, Hannah and David leave the bar and walk along the beach. They are just meters from the safety of their hotel. Not long after sunrise, local hotel owner Somyot Toowichien is dragged from his bed.
ลูกน้องพี่ที่ทำความสะอาดร้านอาหารอยู่
I'll pause here for just a moment. Somyot Toowichien, otherwise known as Mon, is actually the manager of the AC bar, and the bar actually belongs to Warrapan Toowichien, who is the father of Nomsod Toowichien. A lot of people think that Mon and Warrapan are brothers, but to the best of my knowledge, they're not actually blood relatives, which is a bit unusual given that they have the same surname. It's also worth noting, and this really should have been emphasized in the documentary, that shortly after the murders, there was a Lieutenant General of Police who was in charge of the investigation who claimed that there was CCTV footage that implicated both Mon and Nomsod in the murders. And he went on to say that there would be no scapegoating and that the local Thai mafia would not influence the investigation. Surprise, surprise, no sooner had he said that he was promoted and taken off the case and made no further comment about the case, and the involvement, if any, of Mon and Nomsod was covered over.
ลูกน้องพี่ก็ตกใจวิ่งไปหาพี่บนห้องไปเคาะประตูเรียกพี่ก็ลงมากับพวกลูกน้องก็มาเจอศพที่นี่พี่เป็นคนไทยคนแรกที่มาเจอพร้อมกับลูกน้องชาวพม่า
Blood is mixed with sand. Hannah Witheridge's body lies on the shore. She has been brutally attacked and appears to have been raped.
เป็นภาพที่ไม่น่าดูอ่ะเป็นภาพอย่างที่เรารู้กันนะดูแล้วไม่มีใครมีความสุขกันนะ
12 meters from Hannah, another body floats in the shallows. David Miller. He has severe head wounds.
It is correct that David Miller had severe head wounds to the back of his head, which might or might not have been inflicted by this hoe that is featured here. However, there were also many cuts to his face, his neck and his collarbone that could not possibly have been made by this hoe, and unfortunately many people, including the documentary filmmakers here and including Andy Hall later on, mention that there was the murder weapon, whereas in fact the injuries to David demonstrate pretty clearly that there were multiple murder weapons.
A garden hoe covered in blood is found nearby. News of the murders quickly spreads across the island.
I was asleep in bed and I got a knock at my door, and it was one of my best friends who's a dive instructor here on the island, and she came over with the news, which wasn't really the story as we know it today, and it was kind of a game of telephone. We didn't know exactly what had happened. We had heard these rumors, and it was a very scary time where we tried to piece together what had happened.
The comments from Alexandra don't really add much to the video.
Sergeant Chad Gua is the first officer to arrive.
ไม่ครับคือจริงๆแล้วผมมาที่เกิดเหตุเนี่ยความรู้สึกของความเป็นคนนะก็ตกใจเหมือนกันแต่ด้วยความที่เราเป็นตำรวจอ่ะคือมันค่อนข้างที่จะไม่ได้ถึงขั้น จะไปนั่งช็อกอะไรแต่ความรู้สึกก็คือมันหดหู่ครับมันหดหู่แล้วความหดหู่ของเราเนี่ยเหมือนเราเป็นคนไทยเนี่ยเรามีสถานที่ศักดิ์สิทธิ์มีคิงรามาไฟมีร.5แล้วมีของสมเด็จย่าก็เหมือนว่าอธิษฐานเลยว่าใครทำไว้เขาให้จับได้มันไม่มีทางรอดในความรู้สึกที่คิดครับผม
Those comments don't add much either.
The Thai police open a murder investigation, but there are...
The word investigation is used very generously here. It wasn't really an investigation. I think that anyone who looks at this objectively would say that it was a cover-up that the police were engaged in, and it was anything but an investigation.
There are only 6 officers on the island, and they don't get off to a good start.
That's an
They
understatement.
struggle to control the crime scene. Strangers are wandering across restricted areas. Bystanders are taking photos of the dead bodies and posting them on social media.
In fact, the main culprits for posting images on social media were the Thai police themselves, and one thing which the documentary fails to explain is that it's extremely common for Thai police officers to post images of dead people, whether they've died in a traffic accident or whether it's been the result of a murder, or as they often refer to it as a suicide. They will often be posted on social media. It's extremely common. Also, the documentary fails to mention that the police did not check the CCTV footage of the pier to see who left the island by conventional methods, although there was also a rumour, and it might be more than a rumour, that a boat left the island early that morning, and there's been speculation that people like Nomsod were on that boat.
The chaotic scenes don't go down well in Bangkok. The police's handling of the case threatens to embarrass Thailand. A senior officer is sent from the police headquarters to direct operations. He apologizes to David's family.
Some confidential material that leak out is really bad, especially the photos of the victims on the crime scene, and that the traumatized the family, the victim's family. Once I have talked to David's father on the phone, I said sorry to him.
Despite the problems at the crime scene, the police focus on the forensic evidence.
Again, I would challenge that. It appeared very much as if the police were engaged in destroying certain evidence and in creating false evidence to convict 2 scapegoats.
Tests are run on cigarette butts, the murder weapon, and David and Hannah's bodies.
Incidentally, those cigarette butts they refer to were never introduced into evidence at trial. There was a lot of talk from the Thai police to the media about cigarette butts, but they were never produced at the trial. And again, you'll note that the narrator refers to the murder weapon, but obviously there were multiple murder weapons.
The results yield a crucial lead. Officers say they have found the DNA profiles of 2 Asian men.
I won't go into detail about how we would profile people by race, but I would be a little bit skeptical about the sort of things that are mentioned there.
Forensic evidence will become one of the most contentious parts of the case.
That's true.
The police will soon face allegations of serious misconduct, being influenced by the mafia, and even torture.
One thing which the documentary fails to mention is that torture is very much a part of Thai culture. There are frequent incidents of recruits in the Thai army being tortured and beaten to death by their NCOs, and there are frequent stories compelling stories of young school students being beaten viciously by their school teachers, and very often these incidents are simply covered up and swept under the carpet. And it's certainly common for the police to torture suspects and scapegoats.
The Thai island of Koh Tao is one of Southeast Asia's most popular destinations for young travellers. Stunning beaches, clear seas, a stretch of beachfront bars. But this beautiful island is the backdrop to a brutal double murder. British backpackers Hannah Witheridge and David Miller are beaten to death after leaving a bar. Alexandra Bax has lived on Koh Tao for 6 years and writes a blog about the island.
I couldn't help but be very affected by that story. I was Hannah a few years ago when I came to Koh Tao, exploring this beautiful country for the first time. So my heart goes out to that family. I can't imagine what they've gone through.
The Thai police believe they have an early lead. They say they have found the DNA profiles of 2 Asian men from Hannah's body. Officers sweep the island, taking swabs from as many Asian men as possible.
Interestingly, they also took swabs from Asian women. Now, I'm not medically qualified, but I'm pretty sure that the Asian women would not have left semen samples anywhere at the crime scene.
The atmosphere is tense. There are now more than 60 officers on the island. Normally, there are...
By the way, one of the fellows just shown there was the chief of police. His name was Somyot. I will post some information underneath the video about some very questionable conduct of his. He retired quite recently, and he had over $10 million US, and he said that that came from a loan from a fellow who incidentally owns one of the biggest brothels in Bangkok. Now, prostitution's illegal in Thailand, but the friend owned a brothel there, a large brothel, and the friend had been accused of sex trafficking and of having underage girls in his brothel. So I just want to highlight the standard of character that ascends to the highest positions in the Thai police force.
only 6. Rumours are circulating about powerful local families, dubbed by some residents the Koh Tao Mafia.
What we call the Thai Mafia aren't really mafia, they're more just families with a lot of control, who own the land, who own the people, and who own what comes on and off of islands. That's what makes the island mafia a little bit different from the mainland, because they can control people coming and going, they control money. They know when an outsider's coming in to kind of check up on what they're doing, maybe.
One family is consistently linked to the murders on social media, the Toowichiens.
The young fellow on the left was Nomsod, and the fellow on the right was Waropan, who owns the AC bar.
They own more businesses on Sari Beach than any other family. Montreal Toowichien is the first Thai to see Hannah and David's bodies.
I will pause here, and I will thank you for viewing until the very end of part 2, and I look forward to your company in part 3. Take care and bye for now.